You already know, man. It's Deion Dawkins, and you listening to the Real Deal Sports Show on the Beat 105.5.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Real Deal Sports Show. The Rad Man here with you as we do each and every Saturday morning, coming live through the speakers, through Rock Pawnbroker Studios. We're live, broadcasting live in the Rock Pawnbroker Studios, the Rad Man Real Deal Sports Show. Boy, each week it seems like even it's never a dull season or off season. There's a lot to talk about in the world of sports. We're going to get to the NBA playoffs, a lot of exciting games going on in the NBA. We're even going to talk Buffalo Sabres. First time in 15 years, the Buffalo Sabres made the playoffs. First time since 2007, they won an actual playoff series, defeating the Boston Bruins last night. Blew the Bruins out. They beat Boston 3 times in Boston in that series, which is amazing. Each team was winning on the other team's ice. Congratulations to the Buffalo Sabres. Keep up the great work with their winning ways. They're waiting on now the Montreal Canadiens or the Tampa Bay Lightning. They'll play Game 7 Sunday night in Tampa, Florida, and we'll see whoever wins that game will be making their way to Buffalo on Tuesday night to start the second round of the NHL playoffs. Congratulations, Buffalo Sabres. Man, you guys finally, like the announcer said during the game, at the end of the game, he said, damn. He said, these guys been getting top draft picks for the last 15 years. It's about time these guys finally get a bunch of guys that can come together and play because that's what happens when you're one of the worst teams in the league. You get a top draft pick the next season, and it took Buffalo 15 years. And keep in mind, this has been under the Pegula administration. The Pegula group been running the team, and the Sabres have not had good luck. Finally get some good luck under the Pegula administration. Had to bring Lindy Ruff back. They fired Lindy Ruff. They brought Lindy Ruff back, and Lindy Ruff done a hell of a job like he did the first time with the Buffalo Sabres. He got him in the playoffs, and he's an ex-player. He knows what to do. He knows what to talk to the players. And they starting the goaltending. They finally getting some good goaltending out there, helping the Buffalo Sabres defensively. So they're finally getting things going. I like what they see. Morris on the Beltway. Good morning to Morris on the Beltway. All right, we got another guest, Belinda Oakley. Welcome to the show. People on the line. Hey, keep it coming. People online, we appreciate you. Appreciate you catching the show each and every Saturday morning. Or don't forget to like and subscribe to the show. Like and subscribe to the show on Facebook or on YouTube. Go to YouTube, like and subscribe. Thank you so much for the new people that subscribed to the show from last week. We got a nice push from last week's show. Thank you so much for coming on board with Real Deal Sports Show and subscribing to it. Remember, push the like button, subscribe to Real Deal Sports Show. And next up, we're going to talk we're going to get into the boxing in a few minutes, but the Buffalo Bills draft recap. The Bills had an interesting draft. Brandon Beane kept going down, moving back farther in the draft, and the Bills finally starting to make things happen farther and farther by moving back. And keep in mind, Brandon Beane and his scouts seem to come up with starting players from round 4 through round 7. Round 6 and 7 are usually guys that just fill out your practice squad. They usually don't make the team. But this guy has a knack with his scouting department. With Mr. Malik Boyd, headed by Pro Personnel Director Malik Boyd. That brother done a hell of a job in the Buffalo Bills front office. Malik Boyd, keep an eye out on his name. He should already been a general manager. Hopefully he'll become a general manager in the very near future. Jerry Gray also doing a hell of a job with the Buffalo Bills in the front office. And they brought in some nice talent. I like some of the talent they brought in, especially IGB, the defensive cornerback from Ohio State. They're going to get physical. They're going to get nastier. They're going to have some real physical guys that like to hit on this defense. And I see we have Bilal. Bilal, welcome to Real Deal Sports Show. How you doing this morning?
Good, man. I'm not doing as good as you, man. You look like you in the sun somewhere.
The sun is the people down here going off on me because they said you brought that bad weather from Rochester, New York down here. We haven't seen the sun yet, man, since Thursday. Been here since Thursday down here in the Big Easy. And, man, it's finally getting a little blue skies this morning. Supposed to be up to 80 degrees later this afternoon. But, man, it's been 55, 40 at night. It's been people down here wearing gloves and hats and muffs, and And so they said, "Well, you came in from where? Rochester, New York." Oh, guy on the front desk, man, he used to live in Rochester. He said, "Man, why you bring that cold down here, man? I know it's cold up there. Is it still snowing up there?" I said, "I hope not, man." And then I get a text and somebody said it was snowing yesterday. So, man, this weather is taking us.
It was a little sleet yesterday.
All right. And we're taking the Buffalo Bills. What do you think of the Bills draft picks?
I think the Bills made some really solid moves in the draft. I feel like they, it wasn't the sexy draft, but they
Right.
checked boxes that they needed to check. And I think that, for us, and we talked about this, I feel like the move that they wanted to make was in the first round. I felt like they thought Casey Concepcion would come to them at 26 and still be available. And I feel like they really wanted him because once Cleveland took him at 24, they ultimately traded out of the first round. So they knew they had a plan to like make that splash selection that would have gotten everyone's attention. And I really feel like that was Casey Concepcion. And I mean, he's a dynamic player. Catches the ball, everything in his catch rate is he catches it, and then he's speedster. He runs around the field. I mean, just lightning quick, and he's impacting the return game. So I feel like their plan was to make the splash by drafting KC at 26. He wasn't there, and so they started to rework their draft board and traded out of the first round. And I feel like after that they worked methodically through their selections, and I feel like all in all it was a really solid draft. Again, no eye openers necessarily, but I think they added pieces that will help them this year.
Yes,
especially on the defensive side of the ball. Especially on the defensive side of the ball.
Exactly, they definitely need some help with the new defense. I like that Jalen Kilgore out of South Carolina in the 5th round as safety. He's a hard hitting safety. Yeah. All these guys seem to play very physical. The physicalness seemed to be the tone. Physical, nasty, and violent. Each one of these guys had that come out. Had what they said during their press conference with their introduction press conference.
I agree. I feel like they, particularly again, as you said, in the defensive backfield and the linebackers, even the edge rusher that they picked up, he's real stout against the run, physical at the point of attack. When you're thinking Buffalo and you're thinking hosting home playoff games, you win in the postseason being able to run the ball. If you look this past year, Super Bowl MVP, Kalen Walker, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Year before that, Saquon wasn't the MVP, but Saquon had rushed for 2,000 yards during the season. You gotta have that rushing attack in the postseason if you're gonna have a deep run. And I feel like if you're gonna stop teams, you gotta have guys who can be physical at the point of attack. And I feel like the Bills address those needs.
Yes, indeed. T.J. Parker, the edge rusher out of Clemson. I'm just not a Clemson fan. Shaq Lawson, we interviewed Shaq Lawson, but man, come on, Shaq. He did some good games, some good plays, but overall, he wasn't and Shaq Lawson wasn't the answer. And we talked with him. T.J. Parker coming out of Clemson. Clemson's just not known for having good defensive guys that transition to the NFL. So this kid's an edge rusher. He's known for stopping the run. Let's see what he can. He's a big, sturdy guy. Him on one side, T.J. Parker on one side, Bradley Chubb, the veteran, on the other side. And Bradley Chubb had a breakout season last season with the Dolphins. He said it took him over a year to recover from that knee surgery, from the knee surgery he had the previous 2 years ago before that, because he sat out a whole NFL season. So Bradley Chubb coming back, playing the way he played against the Bills and toward the end of the season, that could be a good dynamic. And you also have the regular guys, maybe DC Carter, Dwayne Carter, get back in there, Ed Oliver, Deontay Walker. They must be looking at Deontay Walker as the nose guard because they didn't take Caden. I would have taken Caden Walker, the nose tackle, but the Bills didn't take him. They went. Carl Jones mentioned to us that the Bills don't like a one technique guy. The Bills, they don't like that one technique guy as the nose guard. So they went. So they must think they got it in house with Deontay Walker, who had a nice rookie season. We'll see him at the nose guard. Ed Oliver being there, Dwayne Carter being there. They brought in some other guys in as well. So we'll see how this defense will shape up. And I was very interested with the 4th-round pick, Jude Bowery out of Boston College, an offensive tackle, and he's a swing guy. He can play the tackle or guard position because David Edwards was a big loss for the Bills. Losing David Edwards, I thought, was a big loss for the team. And as Morris Thompson on the Beltway say, defense wins Super Bowls. If you can't score, you can't beat me. That's right. That's the Baltimore Ravens, the 2000 Baltimore Ravens team. They didn't allow teams to score, and they ended up winning the Super Bowl with a very mediocre quarterback. That
even this year, I mean, Sam Darnold's not mediocre, but if you look at the job that Seattle's defense did against the Patriots this year, I mean, they everything the Patriots wanted to do, they dismantled it. So I totally agree, Morris Thompson. You see teams get there with the sexy offense, throwing for touchdowns all season. But when you get to the postseason, you got to be able to stop teams, and I think that's what Philly showed against Kansas City 2 years ago or last year, and then this year, Seattle showed it against New England. I mean, they shut down their entire offense. Again, last year, Patrick Mahomes couldn't. I mean, he was running for his life every time the ball snapped. And this year, similar. They took apart that offense. And so if you've got a dominant defense, you've got the makings of a team that can be really successful in the postseason.
Absolutely. And one football on the note on the offensive side, their other 4th-round pick, they had back-to-back picks at 125 and 126. They took Skylar Bell, the wide receiver out of UConn. He looks like a physical guy. He likes to play. He can play the slot and he can play outside. So that'll help Keon Coleman coming in. You're going to have a lot of guys be able to help Josh Allen. But Josh Allen, don't turn the football over in big games. That's the big thing with Josh Allen. That's why the Bills have not been a Super Bowl. Not because Josh doesn't ever have to carry the Bills on his back. The Bills had receivers last year. They were doing the job. You just can't allow your quarterback to turn the ball over. Tell it like it is. Josh Allen has to wake up. Maybe now with it becoming a family man. Congratulations on the newborn baby and everything. But you can't turn the football over. You get him, no matter how many receivers you get him. How you say you're gonna carry somebody on your back when your running back was the leading rusher in the entire league? I mean, over 1,500 rushing yards. Is that carrying somebody on their back, Bilal?
No, I said it. We had this on air discussion during the season. I can't wait for J-GILLZ to get on here. We got smoked because he was all Josh Allen Superman. I said, no, that's the problem. You embrace this Superman complex, and you got the league's leading rusher in James Cook. Give him the ball, let him cook, and then in those moments where you need Josh Allen, to come through, he'll come through for you. I feel like he's shown that. I do believe the receivers definitely got to do a little better job getting open though. Consistently getting open this season for him. And not making him feel like he's got to make the plays. But I feel like if they focus on not, kind of getting away from that Superman complex mentality in Josh Allen, I feel like they'll do well this season. I would like to see again just more James Cook in the offense. Somehow, some way, whether we throwing him the ball, handing him the ball, get James Cook the ball, and I feel like that that's the recipe for a really long season for Josh Allen. And let me say this. We're going to hold him accountable, but when Josh Allen walked off the field in January, his team had a lead.
Yes.
So defense, listen, the call, answer the call. You know what I mean? You see all the picks, a lot of picks went into the defense this year to tighten up that defense, make that defense better. You got to answer the call now.
That's right. And Moore says the NFL likes the high-scoring games. Yes, they do. They're very exciting. Everybody likes to see touchdowns. They do. And he's right. Morris Thompson, you make a good point because during the Super Bowl, the people all around me were all upset because there wasn't a lot of scoring in that first half. Everybody's like, man, what's going on with these teams? And I said, this is a great game. They were looking at me like, what, man? I said, no, this is great. I'm about the defense. And both of those teams, New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks, made the Super Bowl because of their defense than their offense through the regular season. So people got to realize, as Moore says, defense is what wins it in the big game, Bilal, for sure.
That's a great point. And I really think you nailed it on the head. Like, there were people around us who were not happy about the score of the game being low, but I hope the NFL doesn't bend to that. You know what I mean? The NFL has to understand, yes, you want to draw in the casual fans, but every time you add in some new offensive rule to favor the offense and make the scoring go up, the game gets a little bit more watered down, and it's a tougher product to it's tough to sometimes now watch it just be so easy for the offenses to be able to score. So yeah, I hope the NFL doesn't bend to the fans, the casual fans.
Exactly. And one more comment from the Beltway happened. Cam Newton did the same thing. They had a good defense, but they fumbled the ball. He lost the football in that game. But the other team, Denver, was able to score with a one-arm Peyton Manning, a one arm. He couldn't even throw the ball down the field. He had to throw short stuff, and he was able to beat a Carolina Panthers defense. And who was the head coach? I mean, not the head coach, we know the head coach, but who was the defensive coordinator for Carolina in that Super Bowl, Bilal? Do you remember that? Who allowed Peyton Manning to beat him with short stuff? I give you a hint. On third down, he plays prevent defense. He prevents his team from winning.
McDermott.
Thank you, Sean. I love prevent defense. I don't want to win a Super Bowl. I don't want to win playoff games. I want to play prevent defense. That's why he's out of here. We tired of that. He should have went after the 13-second game. Oh, man, every time I think about that 13-second game, man, we were on our way down the stairs, we were ready to head down to the locker rooms to talk about the win, and this guy allows a prevent defense. Come on. Prevention.
And he overrode Leslie Frazier in that moment. Like, that wasn't what Leslie Frazier called.
No, it wasn't. He overruled Leslie Frazier on that. That's why Leslie Frazier wasn't overruled by Mike, the head coach out there with the Seattle Seahawks. McDonald. Thank you, Mike McDonald. That's why they won the Super Bowl, because he listened to a veteran guy who'd been there, done it before as a head coach, as a defensive coordinator. And guess what? Leslie Frazier is a better defensive coordinator than you are, Sean McDermott. You should have realized that. If you would have realized that, you might have been holding up a Super Bowl trophy that year, because you let it get away. That was your fault and your fault only. You're right. You can win a Super Bowl with Josh Allen. I mean, he has his faults and stuff, but he does. That guy is a gamer. He'll do whatever he can. He'll bleed for you on the field. He'll do whatever he can to win the game. You need a guy like him, and he definitely can win you a Super Bowl. You just got to have the right coach that has that defense in order. Yes, indeed. You're absolutely right.
And not for nothing, why hire a guy if I'm not going to trust his decision making in the situation? What I think of you is not what I allow you to do in situations that don't matter. I didn't hire you for the situations that I could probably call the defensive myself. I hired you for those big moments. I trust you in those crucial, critical moments, and that's when you got to see it. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and that's what we saw in that game. Mike McDonald said it after the game. He trusted him he wanted to hire him from day one. He needed somebody to assist him and somebody to work with him in that fashion. And that's the same thing Buffalo just did by hiring John Fox, the former Carolina Panther head coach that Brandon Beane worked under when he was getting the coffee and the donuts for the team back in 2002 and 3, because he was the runner for the team. He did every job imaginable for the Carolina Panthers. He's a coffee and donut man. And the pizza guy, too. Can't forget about the pizza down there. He go run and pick that up for him. But John Fox was the head coach, playoff head coach. So now Brady has John Fox to lean on in those critical situations coming up in this upcoming football season. And before we move on, you know what time? I know it's early in the morning, but Bilal, you know where we got to go to eat, man. Oh man, you know something. You know where we hang out at, right?
We got to go to Thalia of India. Experience award-winning authentic Indian food in a warm, inviting atmosphere. Lunch buffet, 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. and dinner 4:40 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. 3259 South Winton Road in the Winjeff Plaza. Listen, you award-winning, voted best in Monroe County, a buffet food. Listen, you don't want to miss a meal. Make sure you go check them out, support. The food is off the chain. You will not be disappointed.
Absolutely. You will not be disappointed. And if you like Jamaican food, the best Jamaican restaurant in Rochester, Jamaican Soul Restaurant, 211 Genesee Street. Soul Food Sundays, tomorrow morning, Sundays, open noon to 9 p.m. and on Sundays and 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. Some of the best. Oh, the oxtail gravy is off the chain, Bilal. Man, oh man, I put it on everything. Hey man, just give me the oxtail gravy. What you got? You all out of oxtails, man. Just got some of that gravy left. Put it on the rice and peas to go with my jerk chicken, man.
Yes, sir.
It is totally off the chain. Jamaican Soul Restaurant, 211 Genesee Street. Check them out and please support our advertisers for sure. Yes, indeed. And last Saturday night we were at Savage Promotions boxing extravaganza at Blue Cross Arena. Bilal, what's your take on the boxing extravaganza?
You know what, man? I was excited to see boxing come back to Rochester, and it was history, and we were able to be a part of history, and the fights did not disappoint. Shout out to all of the local fighters who put on a really good showcase. Again, first of all, I want to shout out the promoters. Savage Promoters, Derek Gamble. We got the chance to see our friend Mr. Don Patterson from Buffalo. Shout out to everybody who had a hand in making it. It was an amazing event. Discombobulating Jones, such a humble, down to earth man. It was a pleasure to get a chance to interact with him a little bit, and it was a great event. Everybody got the show they came for. I mean, some excellent fights. Brandon Andrews, we have Messiah, some again local fighters who put on really good showings for themselves and represented the town really well. I was excited to see it, and I was excited to be in the building because Rochester has a rich fighting tradition and history, and I was excited to see it come back, and I'm just hoping that we continue to build on this and looking forward to it coming back next year.
Exactly. J-GILLZ had an interview. BacSpin, if you could play the first interview from J-GILLZ. And cheers from Brazil, Rafael. Thank you for checking the show out. You over in Brazil, thank you for checking us out on the YouTube. Please like and subscribe to the show on YouTube. You can be all over the world like Rafael is. He's over in Brazil checking out Real Deal Sports Show. Thank you, BacSpin, if we can have that interview.
I'm here with Rochester's own Brandon Williams. Man, Brandon, what a phenomenal fight. Best fight of the night. 6 rounds. You got the better of that, clearly. Your opponent came in 17-0. What was your mindset going into the game?
Just listen to my corner, stick to the game plan, and take my time. And everything else, we put the work in the gym. Everything else is easy after that. So, just listen to my corner. They gave me instruction, try to follow the corner instructions.
The aggression was there the whole time, man. Yeah. The aggression was there. What can you say about getting ready for this fight? What was the mindset going into it, and did you expect to come out so strong?
For me, it was me because I'm just coming off a loss, so I had to change my my training and change my habits and work on the things I need to improve on. So I think I did a pretty good job tonight.
Absolutely. Rochester was behind you, man.
Thank you. Yeah.
First bout in over 30 years is what they're saying. What's the thought of just being able to go and perform in front of your city like that?
I feel good, man. My first time fighting in the Blue Cross Arena. This is a big arena. You know what I'm saying? I fought in the Army a few years back. But this right here, this is big for me. So I'm thankful everybody came out and supported. Thank you, Rochester, man. Everybody that came out. Many more to come.
You got your pops here with you, man. I got to bring you in too. Pops is there. What did it mean just to perform like that in front of your friends, your family, and just a beautiful time, especially with I talked to your opponent. Yeah. He had a lot to say about the refs, and in my opinion, it looked like he had a lot more cheap shots going. How did you fight through that adversity of those elbows and those late shots?
I'm kind of used to it in the gym. You see everything in the gym. You know what I'm saying? You deal with different styles, different fighters, rugged fighters, wild fighters, dirty fighters. You see it all in the gym. So when you fight, you kind of prepare for all the styles.
Absolutely. Man, peace and blessings to you, man. God bless.
Thank you.
I'm here with Rashad Tank Roller, fresh off the bout, boxing extravaganza, went up against Brandon Williams. Obviously, he was up 17-0 before this. You came to town, and it seemed like, it was a great bout, best fight of the night, but didn't go your way. What's your thoughts?
Brandon and the referee, it wasn't just a fair fight. It was fighting two men in there and all the judges around there. Brandon brought his A game, I brought mine, but it wasn't a fair fight.
This is your first time in Rochester. What can you say about the crowd, the fans, and this
The crowd
this
and
event?
fans was great, man. I love the community. Can't wait to come back.
And what do you do after this, after such a tough loss? What's the next move?
I go back to work.
There you have it. And that segment, boxing segment below, was brought to you by the award-winning Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency, Auto, Home, Health, and Life Insurance, 1038 Lyle Avenue or 511 Bean Road, Suite B. Give her a call. Area code 585-360-0094. It's almost time for the motorcycles and the boats to get back out there. If you can afford those type of toys with the hell of a gas, man, gas people down here complaining about the gas prices. They paying $3.56. I said, well, hell, we over $4, man. What y'all talking about, man? Come on, but if you can afford those toys and get the gas in them and for your motorcycle and your boats, check out our girl, our friend of the show, award-winning Miriam Rivera Farmers Insurance Agency, Auto, Home, Health, and Life Insurance. One more time, 1038 Lyle Avenue or 511 Bean Road, Suite B. She got a brand new Brighton location open as well now, 585-360-0094. Right, Bilal? Bilal, was that sour grapes the guy was talking about after the fight?
Yeah, and end of the day, you know what I mean. You lost, and to me, even you're not gonna get anywhere blaming it on the refs and the judges. You know what I mean. If he would have taken accountability, he would have been honest. He threw a lot of ugly elbows. He was taking dirty shots. Trying to fight, throw punches like right as the bell was getting ready to ring. You know what I mean. It was a lot of little dirty boxing stuff. If you've been around the game, dirty boxing is a thing. So. And you saw a lot of that, but I think what his thought process was, these dirty boxing techniques will cause Brandon to either kind of get into a slugfest with him or frustrate him to the point to get out of his game, and neither happened. Brandon stayed in his pocket. He stayed in the pocket and executed the game plan that his corner implemented, and he did it effectively, and he came out with a win. And I think everyone that was there will tell you he put on a great show.
Exactly. Brandon Williams did an excellent job against Rashad Boger. Very good fight, very entertaining fight. The headline, Bryce Mills won his fight by really the guy was injured. The guy threw his shoulder out. He was hit him so hard in his shoulder that when his opponent tried to hit him back, his shoulder just popped right out. You saw the bone pop right out, and man, he was done right there. He couldn't throw nothing. I was surprised he fought for the last 30 seconds of that fight. He fought defensively and held on. As soon as the bell rung, he went to the corner and said, "Hey, I can't even lift my arm up." And they just, man, he told called the doctors, and they called the fight. Bryce Mills retained his title. Very good fight. It was only 2.5 rounds basically, but it was a very good festive fight. Those guys were going at it. Excellent championship boxing. Bryce Mills, the Syracuse, New York area. Congratulations on retaining your title. The women's champion, she did a great job as well in retaining her title as well. It was a great night of boxing. Savage Boxing Promotions, congratulations on putting together such a nice card for and bringing boxing back. It hadn't been here in over 30 years.
30 years, over 30 years in Rochester.
Wow. And right, that says a lot right there. That says a lot about the boxing community for sure. And as we continue on, as we said, Morris also mentioned that he's been on his motorcycle. You never really put your motorcycle up. Well, you live in a nice warmer market because you're not running around Rochester or Buffalo on a motorcycle. Maybe you may be starting to dust it off, but you probably be out there in a few weeks getting it in as well. And I love your comment about when you said Ray Lewis would have made the man turn his headset off if Ray Lewis was on the Bills team back there in 2022. He would have said, "No, man, we're not preventing anything. We're gonna go out here and win this contest." And that's you're absolutely right. Morris on the Beltway is hot this morning. Got it going on for sure. And before we get into the NBA action, let's tell us about Kimmy Does It Best. Kimmy Does It Best. best custom website designer and online maintenance. Kimmy can help you build your website. Go to our website. If you want to see a beautiful website, realdealsportshow.com. realdealsportshow.com. Check that website out. It looks amazing. She designed it for us. It's very user friendly. So Kimmy can help your business online grow. She can help grow your business. If you're looking to make money, you're selling T-shirts or mugs or selling any type of items through your website, books or things of that nature as well. She can help grow your business. So visit KimmyDoesItBest.com or contact her at support@KimmyDoesItBest.com. Check her out. She'll definitely help your business thrive and grow to the next level. Let's get to New York Knicks, man. What the heck? Man, I thought something was wrong, man. We stopped in there. I was listening to jazz music, man. Went to the restroom and came back by a TV. And I saw a score say 57-85 or 90. It was a ridiculous looking score. It looked like a college game score. So I had to stop and do a double take to make sure. Was that score right? Man, early in the third quarter? Man, what happened, Bilal, in that? What happened to the Atlanta Hawks, Bilal? Were they over at Magic City the night before or something hanging out? Man.
You know what? What happens is and again, I got some ribs for him too, but I really feel like what happened was you had a younger team. The only veteran leadership they really have is CJ McCollum. And once the Knicks figured out what they wanted to do to neutralize CJ McCollum, now the pressure, so the same way everyone had been saying that the pressure had shifted and was now on LA because they went up 3-0 and now they had lost 2 straight. How were they going to respond? No one. There were a lot of people who didn't have them winning or closing out against Houston in Houston after the last 2 games. If you looked at the New York series, it was very similar. Atlanta goes. New York started out winning. Atlanta comes back and now they're up. They've got all the momentum, and I feel like once the momentum shifted back to New York and they found their stride, it was too much for those young guys to be able to respond to, and we've been saying it. I mean, since the start of the NBA season, Karl Anthony Towns needed the ball. Get Karl Anthony Towns the ball. They have made it their focal point to get Karl Anthony Towns the ball, and he is not disappointed. And it was a complete BTA beating. My wife looked at the score in the first half. She was like, "You got this can't be for real." It was something like 29 to 70 something, and this was the first half. And my wife was like, "Yeah, I think the first half score ended up being like something like 86-35, and it was. That was the end of the first half. And it's like, well, when they pressure bust pipes and it crushed the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, they said CJ McCollum, who they've been saying looks like Steve Urkel. They said he ran out of his Stefan Urkel elixir. He ran out of cool juice. And yeah, because CJ McCollum, who had given the Knicks fits in those last 2 games, he was nowhere to be found. He was nowhere to be found, and it showed.
Wow, it definitely showed bad. One of the biggest, second biggest blowouts in playoff history. 61 points, or 51 point beatdown. That's a serious beatdown there to take. Especially when everybody's watching. It's a playoff game. Glad I wasn't watching. Glad I was listening to some nice jazz music there. But man, that you just can't get beat like that. And what about the Minnesota game? Minnesota Denver Nuggets game. I did see some of that game right there. That was a good one as well.
I've been waiting on that. So one let me shout out to Nas Reed, Julius Randle, and man, and the ageless wonder Mike Conley Jr. I mean, Rudy Gobert, those guys played amazing basketball. Despite, everyone's talking about, Ant-Man and DiVincenzo down. they had one of their other leading scorers who was out as well, and his name escapes me right now. But 3 guys out, and let me just say this, man. Let me just say this.
How you know?
Stop disrespecting or the all-time greats of the game, and the Joker might be amongst the. Listen, take his name out of that conversation. Anytime Nikola Jokic plays against teams where there's an actual throwback type of big from when from our era growing up and whatnot, and when early in your covering days, anytime he plays against one of those guys, you don't see the same. This man has won 3 of the last 4 MVPs. He has not. When they won the NBA championship, was it 4 years ago now? It was man. The Nuggets are about to be, they're about to be the next dynasty. They're going to take over for the, where the Golden State Warriors have been in the Western Conference. They haven't sniffed a Western Conference Finals, much less an NBA Finals, since then. And Nikola Jokic, 3 of the last 4 MVPs, I put it on him. You can't have all these triple doubles and all these accolades they want to throw on him and throw at him. And meanwhile, it does not amount to the postseason deep runs. You know what I mean? You've been eliminated by Minnesota in two of them, and in this one, you got eliminated by Minnesota missing Anthony Edwards, Anthony DiVincenzo, and man, just no excuse. At least he was honest in his post-game press conference and said, if this was Serbia, we'd all be fired. Yeah, and he liked the fight. He became like the fight guy too, man. He was ready to fight every game. At the end of every game, he was so upset with what that went down. The Fanatic is coming on with Ayo Dun Samu. The Fanatic's talking about 2023 Denver won the chip. But man, he turned into like the fight guy, man.
Yeah, he did. He was getting mad every time. But Joker, if you're gonna do that, hey, be ready to really scrap. You can't be running up on somebody, putting your chest on them, and then you do your famous, hey, let me get held back to the hold me back moment, man. Come on, man, Joker, you got to play better. But yeah, man. Hey, good morning, Real Deal Sports Show family. It's been a minute. Glad to be here. I definitely would say, man, Bilal, you're right, man. Joker didn't play well. Now, I do want to give him the same courtesy, though. He did come over. He did, and I think that 65 game rule is in people's heads, as it should. Blame the Kawhis of the world, the people out here stealing money by not playing, the Zions out here who getting all this money and not playing. I think the Joker psychology of 65 game, when he came back from his knee injury, and Joker never got hurt. But he came back, he won against that 65 game mark. He never looked like himself. I've never seen him put brick at the brick at the brick. That he just, I'll give him a little bit of injury of a grace on that. But Bilal, you are so right. Hey, man, Joe, the sports media, man, they are always so quick to say, this is the next greatest player ever. This is the next greatest dynasty ever. Man, can we just enjoy the championship for 1 year and let's let what actually happens dictate who's a dynasty? We don't always have to prognosticate it ahead of time because Denver is not it, and they got old so fast, quick, fast, in a hurry. And so Denver, to me, I think their title piece has absolutely closed to me. I don't think that team is a championship team. Joker said it himself, and that team got a lot of money spent on the players like Christian Braun, Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic is going to get a chance to sign his extension this year. Man, that's Aaron Gordon, who I love, but man, he got hamstring injuries last year, calf this year. They're just an older team. They don't have the influx of talent. The Denver window, I'll tell you now, it has closed. They need to get a huge influx of talent. And I don't know, you trade Murray and flip him. Maybe could you get a top 8 pick in this year's draft? I don't know if you get that to get you a young person to roll with Joker, man. To me, they are like a good sitcom that needs to be rebooted.
Listen, I don't. So let me say this first of all, because if now y'all know who my guy is, Bron. If this year they were already starting to say, you know what I mean. First, before the series started against Houston, they were all there. Lakers going to be going in 4, and if not, 5, maybe a gentleman's sweep or whatever. Lakers come out 3-0, of course, and they're saying this because KD's not playing, whatever, right?
Yep.
If the Lakers had let, and I don't want to say let, I don't use that lightly, but if Houston had won the game last night, imagine what the headlines would be about LeBron. They would be dragging LeBron.
And rightfully so. That's not hyperbole. No team. Bilal, how many teams have ever lost a 3-0 lead? Zero.
I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is, at 41 years old, year 23 in the league, his name would have been drugged, and they would have, and that would have still been with a game 7 to play. But no smoke for this guy who's won 3 of the last 4 MVPs, who's supposed to be the best. I mean, all they do is, he's one triple-double, one playoff triple-double behind LeBron and only a couple behind Magic. Like, they throw out these all-time great stats in the stat that matters.
Right.
It's not checking out. And so, I'm not saying I understand how injuries, affect the game. That's why you play long seasons, because the reality is the attrition is what shows how strong a team that you actually have.
Right.
Nobody gives LeBron that pass. The Kawhis of the world. I'm not totally mad at the whole load management thing, because when you start to enter those all-time Hall of Fame great conversation spaces, your legacy is not predicated on what you do games 182. Nobody's talking about your all-time legacy. You can win 10 scoring titles and match the great Michael Jordan. If you don't win some chips, you will be irrelevant. They will never put you in the all-time great conversation. So it could be all based on injuries. So if you're going all out games 182, and then you got nothing left in the playoffs, and then when you start having consecutive years of deep playoff runs like Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets of the world, when those happen, you start to see injuries. So I do. I think you made a great point about the Aaron Gordon. I feel like his injury was costly to them. But I tell you the other thing, that losing Michael Porter Jr., they're feeling it. They miss Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, maybe, but they still would have lost to me this series. Michael Porter, because Michael Porter Jr. was a head case. He gave you 31 game and he gave you 3 the next. He just didn't fit. And Cam Johnson balled the last game. But I do take a little bit of umbrage. To me, it's one thing when you are a Hall of Famer, there's levels of Hall of Fame. Games played, consistency mattered. If you were always injury prone, that's why to me, Kawhi was great for a short amount of time. It's about the longevity. We talk about the attrition. It is about that. And so to me, it does matter. Michael Jordan, 82, 81, 80 games, these cats playing. LeBron, I do give him credit for playing the number of games that he played this year in his 23rd season at age 41. He definitely deserved that. But I do want to, and I know it look like, bro, Bilal, look like you want to say something else, but I kind of want to switch it to KD and his legacy and how he didn't show up. And is it the burner phone? Some people try to say he might have a little thing with Dwight Howard, as Dwight was back in town. Who knows what's going on? But KD, he left Golden State, and I do feel a little bit bad to him because he hears more than anything. There's been a allegedly, Radman, because I don't want to get us canceled being back, Radman. Allegedly, there has been thoughts that on KD's burner phone, he was talking about his own teammates, including Jabari Smith Jr. and others on his own team about not playing smart basketball. Folks, it has not been proven, but that seems to be clearly to me, there was a disconnect. How you get hurt right before the playoffs and you played in one game 37 minutes and you can't play none of the rest? Kevin Durant, to me, has been a precipitous drop from the Golden State days. He let Draymond get under his skin. He could have won, to your point, Bilal, he could have won a bunch of championships, but he tried to go. He followed the wild guy, Kyrie. He let James Harden and Kyrie blow that up. Then he goes to Phoenix. This is going to be great. Phoenix was better without him. Houston did just as well, technically by standings, did better without him. Kevin Durant is going to cost you too much. He needs to be on a team where you are trading some picks but you can't trade half your team for KD. He's not that guy anymore, and his legacy to me should be diminished. He in the category to me of Carmelo Anthony. Put him in there with Carmelo, great one-on-one scorer, not a leader of men, doesn't bring people together. He is there to get his and keep it moving. And to me, KD's legacy to me is on a precipitous decline. What do you think, Radman and Bilal?
You done set him out, Phil. Go ahead, Bilal. Give him that. Go ahead and light him up.
So let me say this. I really like Kevin Durant. I don't know, again, the whole injury thing, you know what I mean? Here's the thing. LeBron makes us recalibrate similar to in a much different way. I'm going to use a much different metric, but I'm going to use the Michael Jordan. Like Michael Jordan reset the metric of what you expected out of a team with a wing player as their focal guy. Nobody before Michael, it was not believed you could win a championship with a wing player as your primary weapon before Michael Jordan. You needed a point guard and you needed a big man. That was the formula. Michael Jordan reset the metric. LeBron has reset the metric for what we expect out of guys in the latter parts of their careers. KD's old. That's the reality. Yeah. KD's old, and he's 6'11", 7 feet. Those bodies don't typically hold. So for the fact that his body is held up, at least to the degree that it has at this stage of the game, when you got how many 7-footers stay around as long as KD? Not many. Mm-hmm. Even though he plays the position more like a guard wing player, guys don't typically stay around that long. Now, I think you also need to, we need to be realistic about what we asking from him. Is he that leader? No, I don't think he's that guy anymore. He never was a leader. He never was a leader. Oklahoma City, they had infighting. And to me, that team shouldn't have been broken up. I mean, you had a young Harden, a young Durant, and you had three guys that a solid foundation. To me, they should have been still playing. But that's just he is who he is. He done shit. Kevin Durant shows you who he is. I agree with you, Radman. That the OKC
and Serge Ibaka too was on that team.
I feel like that OKC team should have stayed together. I don't think that was a Kevin Durant thing. I think Russell Westbrook was the issue there. This, that man, anybody with his lack of shooting ability, who was putting up the number of shots he was taking, when you got Kevin Durant and a James Harden who could actually put the ball in the hole efficiently, Russell Westbrook was doing way too much. That said, I feel like in the right situation, if you don't need a guy to be the leader, and again, I think they brought Kevin Durant to Houston, expecting him to be the leader of young guys, and that I don't think that was where he's at in this stage of his career. You need a team who needs a scorer and a guy that can create an instant mismatch and get you a bucket. Absolutely, you know what I mean. There's teams that definitely need that shooting. I don't think you trade anything for him. I feel like at this point of his career, you're not going to get much in return. You got to, if he's looking to stick around and be on a roster, I don't think you're going to get much in return for him on the trade market. So you just got to be accepted of moving on from him.
Yeah. What about Victor Wembanyama with the Spurs? He seems to be playing. These European cats come in with a mindset that they play their style of play. Even you go way back to the Tony Parkers and these guys, they all come in with that skill set, and the guys they put a good team around them there in San Antonio. Your comments on the Spurs?
Oh, the Spurs are phenomenal. I mean, they are. Listen, teams say they're coming. The Spurs here. The Spurs are here, and Victor Wembanyama has put everybody on notice. I am so impressed by him fighting back through what they thought was a concussion, a real bad, ugly fall in game 2. Was that game 2? Yeah, he had an ugly fall, and he's that young man. He is he plays and has taken on the weight of. If you need me to be the face of the franchise, if you need me to be the face of the league, whatever it is, I'll shoulder that burden. And I love that for the NBA, because right now you got too many guys who are running from that that light.
Yeah.
He runs towards it. So, I really hope that his health and everything holds up for him, because he is a joy to watch, and he is a treasure for the league by way of his just desire to not shrink and run from the light of all of the spotlight.
Yeah, no, 100% Victor, man. But that team is really, Victor is the main guy, but Stephon Castle, when he really goes, and Vassie, when they go together, San Antonio's tough to beat. I really believe, especially what we're seeing in the East. I can't wait to hear y'all predictions for the Game 7. I can't believe that lumber Joel Embiid has made it work, because I was like, hey, bring Joel up the bench. He got to figure this out. Let Edge come, be a young boy, and go through his Kobe moment, maybe shoot some air balls. Philly not winning the chip. You get Maxey, you get Edge come. That's who, to me, Philly should be and lead with. But I'm interested. To me, I thought Boston had a chance to win a chip. I still think they do, but it's a little bit of a roll of a dice when you go through a Game 7 in the first round. To me, it's about SGA and OKC and the Spurs. Similarly, I think in the NFL, obviously, as my Patriots showed up, the real Super Bowl was the Rams, Seattle in the conference championship for the NFC title. I think there's going to be the same thing for the West. When OKC and San Antonio meet for the championship, for the Western Conference Finals, whoever wins that'll be the NBA champion. Victor is here. But that team is really good. But let's be real. They were down for a long time. It took a long time for San Antonio to build back from the Kawhi leaving. So it takes some time with this. And OKC was bad for a while, and they got all them picks, and then and now they're back. So it is fun to see the new life cycle of some of those old teams that have been good in the past. So it should be fun. But who do y'all have for tonight? Game 7. I know we're about to have to wrap up. Game 7. Philly, Boston. What's happening? And we got to get the Sabres some loves, too.
Yeah, go Philly. Go Philly. I hope Philly can beat them. I never liked Boston. I'm not a Boston fan.
I was gonna say, I hate to say it, but Radman gave me a point there. Like, yeah, I've never been a fan of Boston anything. I really like Jaylen Brown, but Boston going home. I don't think Jason Tatum's healthy enough, and I feel like the best thing that Philly has going for him is I think Joel Embiid is finally taking a lesser role. He's accepting a second option role.
Love it. Yep, I'm going. Boston gonna get it right. They're not gonna get eliminated. Watch the Boston Celtics. But to me, Game 7, I love it on Saturday night. Last but not least, I want to help people win some money today. Kentucky Derby. Go to your OTB or wherever you need to go. It's raining. I checked already. It's gonna be raining for the next hour at Churchill Downs in Kentucky. Get you some horse racing money today. It's going to be great. Well, Morris Thompson always kicking in. You were right. I saw your comment about the 3 people. You need 3 stars, 3 really great players. And to me, San Antonio, check that criteria. SGA, check that criteria. Boston, I don't know about who you would say their 3rd great player is. But they got a good squad. But, hey, I'm going. We got a couple horses have been scratched. It's going to be a little bit muddy from the rain, but it's going to be the race again is at 6:55 posting time. Technically 6:57 NBC. Check out the Kentucky Derby. I like Chief Wallaby. That's the good one. He's going to be right in the middle at post number 12, 8-1 odds. Check out my man Chief Wallaby, who I think may come in win, place, or show, which is 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. I know everyone's picking Renegade, but he's got that number 1 post, so he's going to be closest to that to the post on the inside. I don't like that spot, especially on a kind of wetter track. Give me Chief Wallaby. Watch out for the Puma, and then watch out for Further Ado. Watch out for Further Ado, too. But I'm going win, place, or show. My man Chief Wallaby did well in the Florida races. We shall see tonight with the first of the Triple Crown races. Springtime is here, baby. Let's get it. And last but not least, Rabbit, don't kick me out. Enjoy Louisiana. But shout out to all my college kids, my high school seniors who are getting ready to go to college next year. Yesterday was National Signing Day. I hope you got to represent whatever school you're going to. Represent that really well. It's an amazing, amazing accomplishment to go to college, not only for the students, but shout out to the families, their villages, everybody who got you to that point. So students, please thank your loved ones who helped you get to that moment. But celebrate this weekend. If you're still unsure, I know there's schools like LSU and Georgia State University. Both are still open. If you need to find a school, check both of them out. We can definitely get you connected with folks at those institutions. But, man, shout out to my high school seniors. Enjoy graduation, whether you're going to college tonight or not. This is you're closing one major chapter So please enjoy that and celebrate yourself.
BacSpin, welcome back.
Sir,
BacSpin.
welcome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate y'all, man. Real Deal Sports Show every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. right here on the Beat 105.5. Thank y'all so much. And Rad, man, bring some of that 80-degree weather back with you, brother. I would definitely appreciate that, man. It's May 2nd, and it was 35 degrees this morning. I just want you to know that. So we need all that Louisiana sunshine and humidity, if you will. We need all that. Bring that back with you, my brother.
I certainly will. Y'all take care. Have a great weekend and have a great weekend of sports. And remember to please be a good sport.
Yes,
and follow, like, and subscribe. We appreciate it.
Keep it where you need it. Rock City coming up. It's the Back in Time Mix Show right here on the Beat.